guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa and I'm here on YouTube to talk about all things curly hair. Now today's video is a bit different because I'm actually going to take you into my shower, which is something I always say, I'm not going to take you in my shower, nobody needs to see that. Well, today I felt you did need to see it. Today's video is all about doing my entire curly routine using only one hand. Now I really want to make something clear. This is not a fun challenge or a gimmick. We might have fun doing it, but the purpose of it is actually to help people who genuinely only have the use of one hand or one arm, either permanently or temporarily. And this video was inspired by one of my followers, Julie, over on Instagram. We've been messaging and she was explaining to me that she only has the use of one arm. She's been following my videos and following my tips and getting great results, but I thought it might be a useful thing to actually show the whole process using just one arm. Because of course when we wash our hair we really use our hands a lot, don't we? Let's just see how we get on. It might turn out to be pretty much the same as my usual wash day, or it might be quite different. I genuinely have no idea, but we're going to find out together. One of the reasons that I wanted to actually show you the process in my shower rather than over the bath like I normally would is because perhaps you're someone who just struggles to be upside down a lot. I know when I was pregnant that I couldn't do anything upside down. I barely managed to flip over to squish to condition and then back up again. So I thought this was a good opportunity to show me standing upright. If you know anybody who is differently able that you think might benefit from this video, then feel free to share it with them. Okay, here goes.
Okay, so first of all, just wetting my hair, obviously. And now I'm going to go and add shampoo, and I'm using the Naughty to the Rescue shampoo, which is one of my absolute favourites. And I'm just working that in with plenty of water, and as you can see it does lather a little bit. I'm really going to focus on scrubbing my scalp with just one hand. So to help with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scalp scrubber, which is one of the best inventions in the world, and I absolutely love it. This is ideal if you do only have a one hand to be working with, or if you have issues like perhaps arthritis or something else which makes it difficult for you to scrub your scalp. One of these is going to be your new best friend, and even if you don't, it just really helps your scalp to get super clean, and it feels really nice too. And it's going to help remove any buildup off your scalp, any dry skin, anything at all, without having to add extra products. And so I just really go ahead and give it a thorough massage, focusing on the bits of my scalp that I know need the most cleaning. And once I've done that, then I'm just going to go ahead and rinse it off. It can also help to slightly massage your scalp as you rinse off your shampoo as well, just to make sure that any of that debris is getting removed. Now we're on to conditioner, and I've got Naughty to the Rescue conditioner. Now, trying to get products out of the bottles with only one hand was probably the hardest part of this entire video. So I squirted it directly onto my hair, as you can see, and got half of it on my t-shirt and just made a whole big mess. But I'm just smoothing it through my hair. Oh my word, my conditioner just jumped out all by itself. What was that about? So anyway, I am just raking the conditioner through my hair and detangling if there are any tangly bits of hair. This would be the time to gently detangle them. My hair doesn't really get too tangly these days, so it doesn't take me too long, but it might take you longer. So now I'm about to do squish to condish, and before I do, I'm roughly parting my hair down the back. This is a new technique that I've been doing, and I'm absolutely loving it, and it helps to be able to get to all the hair when I'm squishing, which you'll see in a second, by splitting the hair down the middle at the back, which we're calling split styling over on Instagram. It means you can squish right the way up to the nape of your neck. So adding a bit more water and continue squishing, but it means that all that hair that's underneath that sometimes gets a bit tangled or caught up when you flip upright actually sits so much better. I've been doing this for the last few wash days and I absolutely love it. I can't see me going back to squish to condish with all my hair flipped over the front. So you can really see here what I mean. I can scrunch all the way up, all the sections of hair right the way up to the root, so you're really going to enhance the curls on all those sections and get them really well hydrated. Now I have to say, as you can see here, I'm using two hands, and I swear I did not even notice that I was using two hands here until I was editing this. I'm like, hang on a minute, what am I doing? But for full transparency, I wanted to leave that in there and say, sorry, I messed up. But you could, of course, do that with just one hand. So now I'm going to take my Curl Keeper Flexi brush and just brush through. And you can see it just smooths out any frizz and it helps those curls become a little bit more uniform. And as you brush and shake your head, you see those curls really start to appear. And this is where that whole split styling technique comes into its own as well, because now the hair is sitting a little bit more naturally in those clumps around your head as it would when your hair is down later on. So it works really, really well. So I'm just going to cup and squeeze those clumps just to get rid of the excess water. Give them a good squeeze. And then after this, we're going to be moving on to some styling. So apart from that one blip, so far, I've managed to do everything with one hand without too much difficulty. So now we're going to just carefully flip upright and shaking my head just to let those clumps fall back down. And yes, the clumps do break up a bit at this point, which does always seem a shame when they looked so beautiful a minute ago, but there doesn't seem to be much way around it. I am going to try and experiment with doing an entire wash day flipped over like I was and adding my products in like that. And yeah, that's a video for another day.
Okay, so I ended up putting my hair in a shower cap, just plopping it in a shower cap. So I'm holding the shower cap and just scooping the hair in. That is known in the curly world of crazy terms as wet plopping. I didn't invent it, don't come at me. So I'm going to take that out. Now obviously I already showed you in the shower that I've shaken my hair out so that it can fall away from my scalp. So there we go, it's sitting quite nicely. I'm going to take my towel, my microfiber Perfect Hair Care towel, and I'm just going to microplop, another weird term, which is just essentially removing some of the excess water from your hair by squeezing it. And I don't want to remove tons, I'm just removing some so that it's not dripping wet anymore. And sometimes I like to just blot at my roots a little bit as well, because that just helps them to dry a bit quicker. Okay, right. Now, styling. I need to remember I'm only using the one hand. I almost kept forgetting when I was in the shower there and having to stop myself and only use the one arm. I am going to use a tried and tested combo of Curl Keeper products. I'm going to use the Curl Keeper Original and the gel. Now, Curl Keeper Original is nice and runny, so that is very easy to distribute into my hand using only one hand. Okay, so I have oh, that's hard to show you because it's so runny. A very small palmful, and I'm just going to scrunch it into my hair. I absolutely love this stuff, Curl Keeper Original. It is just an amazing, amazing curl enhancer. It's a liquid styler. It doesn't have a ton of hold, but it really, really enhances my curls. It makes them shiny and clumpy, and it always makes my wash day results last longer as well. Okay, some more. This has got to be the trickiest part, is actually getting the products out using only one hand. It's just a small amount. There's lots of things that I hadn't thought about, like if you would like to emulsify a product between your hands, then obviously you cannot do that with only one hand. You can't do things like praying hands technique. You could, I suppose, kind of take a section of hair and hold it and smooth it down like that as an alternative to praying hands technique. That could definitely work. The thing with Curl Keeper Original is that it's very, very lightweight, and I find you can't use too much. Like I can use loads and loads of this and it doesn't disturb my hair. It doesn't do anything bad to my hair at all. I can be really, really generous with it. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on the back. So just super simple and just scrunching everything in. Nothing groundbreaking, no new techniques here. Okay, now the gel. The Curl Keeper gel is very, very thick. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little dish and I'm going to squeeze some out into the dish, and then I can apply it to my hair much easier, only using one hand. Okay, so I got a little lid of a tin I have, and I've just put some gel out there. So I can just go back and forward with my one hand to the gel, kind of smooth it over my hand and scrunch in. So if you are someone who is living or has lived with only the use of one hand, then I would love to know what little things you do in your day-to-day life, or when you're doing your wash day, what little tips that you have that make things easier for you, or that work in place of what people with two hands would do. Please leave them in the comments, because I would love to read them, and also for anyone else watching this video who is perhaps in a similar situation, and share tips and perhaps help each other out. Okay, I'm gonna go back for some more gel. Just scrunch in the other side. So I'm just doing this, flipping from side to side, and I call this flip styling. I know it doesn't necessarily need a name, but sometimes it is easier to give things a name, to be able to refer to them, to give them a hashtag. So like on Instagram I use hashtag flip styling, and lots of people will say, oh, I've been doing that for years, I didn't know it had a name. Well, it doesn't really. I've just given it one so that it's easier to refer people to the particular videos, or rather than having to describe every time and say, well, the way I apply my products is by flipping my head to the right, to the left, to the front, to the back, you know, whilst scrunching in my products. I can say, check out the flip styling hashtag and you'll find my videos. So it's not that I think I've invented something new, it's just easier for it to have a term so that I can refer people to it. Okay, I'm going to flip forwards and apply the last bit. Just glazing it over and scrunching. Okay, now comes the point where I'm always trying to decide whether I have enough gel in my hair or whether I should add some more, but I think we're going to stick with that. So the last thing I'm going to do is just lift my hair away from my scalp using my fingers wide, just so we don't get that horrible stuck to the scalp look. It also helps to get a tiny little bit of product in at the roots, and because you're lifting the roots away from your scalp with a tiny bit of product on them, that can help the roots to stay lifted as well once they're dry. That's me, nice and simple. Now to diffuse. Now what I have been doing for the last little while is double diffusing using two diffusers. Obviously I'm not going to do that today. I am going to opt for my Dyson because it is the fastest of the dryers, diffusers that I have. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's not going to be a whole lot different to how I normally diffuse, and it's boring enough diffusing. I'm sure it would be even more boring for you to watch, but I will just show you kind of the beginning and the end. My hair is nearly dry now, and normally what I do when I diffuse is I use my other hand, the fingers, to lift the roots as I dry. But obviously if you're only able to use one hand, then another great way to kind of lift the roots a bit is when your hair is nearly dry, when you've got your diffuser up there in your roots, you can do like a little massaging movement. It especially works if you've got prongs on your diffuser, and just kind of move it around at the roots, and that helps with extra volume, and it kind of breaks up if you get really defined curl clumps at the root. It can make your hair look more sparse, so doing that just helps to break them up as you dry. And now at this point my hair's like 95% dry. I actually like to start breaking the cast very lightly, which helps you to figure out kind of how dry or how wet it is, because if you're not touching your cast, sometimes it can be hard to figure it out. And then I just finish off drying. This is another way to get more volume, is by breaking your cast a little bit early. And I know that like it's a big rule, big no, don't touch your hair until it's 100% dry, but I like to break that rule and it works really, really well for me. doing it this way. Try it and see. It's not going to work for everyone. I think if your hair is really damaged or really prone to frizz, then you might find that this actually makes your frizz worse. It doesn't with me, but try it and see. I think it's officially dry now, because obviously I already scrunched it quite a bit. There's not much of a cast left, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it settle, and then I'll be back and we'll scrunch out whatever is left, and I'll show you the results. Hey guys, I'm back. I've put on a little bit of makeup. I've let my hair settle, so I'm going to, it is already scrunched out, but I'm going to just scrunch and fluff it a little bit more, just with one hand for volume, and just to get rid of the last little bit of cast that I've got going on. And I am really pleased and quite surprised actually at how well this wash day has come out, considering that I was focusing on only using the one hand and trying to not accidentally use two hands. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the results. It's very shiny. I've got a little bit of unscrunchable cast in one or two areas, but I don't mind that too much, because that means that by tomorrow the last little bit of crunchiness will have gone, and I'll be left with really long lasting soft curls. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how that came out, and I managed to do the whole thing using only one hand without really having to make too many changes to my regular routine. So if you're someone who either temporarily or permanently only has the use of one hand, then I really hope that video was somewhat helpful. Please do let me know in the comments if it was helpful. If there's anything else you'd like to see me do that would be helpful for you, then as always, leave that in the comments too. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. Bye!